Hi, I'm Alison Mott. Welcome to my fourth writing activity for the Royal Voluntary Services Virtual Village Hall. I hope that you're all well and keeping active and happy and are ready to do some writing with me today. You're going to need some paper and something to write with, or a laptop if you want to write straight onto a laptop, and if a clock if you're one of the people who've been trying out timing yourself as you write, just writing for short bursts of time. As I said before, it can be really useful to induce a false sense of urgency and give yourself very short bursts of time, because it stops you overthinking. And sometimes we can overthink with our writing, worrying about whether it's good enough or we're doing the right thing. As I say every time in these workshops, there is no right thing. From the prompts that I give you, you can take them any way that you like. It's all just a bit of fun. You do whatever you like, whatever memories or stories the prompts induce for you, you just write them down and tidy them up afterwards. And if you like, send them to us on the Facebook page. We love to see what you've written, what you've created from the ideas that we've done. So if you've got that paper, pen ready, let's begin. So the topic of the writing activities today is the sea and the seaside. I didn't get to go to the seaside this summer and I missed it, to the extent that when friends have posted pictures of the seaside on Facebook, I've been a little bit mardy about it. But there you go. So, thinking about the sea, and the first thing, a quick warm-up activity I'm going to get you to do is to set your timer for 10 minutes, if you have one, and just to list as many things about the sea as you can, beginning with the prompt, the sea is. So tell me, what is the sea? And that can be factual, it could be creative, whatever comes to your mind. See if you can get 10 items down. If you can get more, that's even better. 10 minutes, off you go. Finish the sentence, the sea is, as a list. The sea is, and it's, go. How did you get on? Did you get a good list there of things that the sea is? Here are some of mine. The sea is the home of thousands of aquatic creatures, large and small. Factual. The sea is a floating bin of plastic waste shamefully dumped by humans. So that's just an opinion based on the fact that there's lots of plastic in it. The sea is an interconnected system of all the Earth's oceanic waters, including the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Southern and Arctic oceans. I'm not going to lie, I googled that one. The sea is one of the main characters in a story about King Canute. The sea is the subject of many songs, and we'll come back to that one later. The sea is fun to paddle in. The sea is fun to swim in, if you're brave enough to. I'm not, but I do have friends who do, and young people I know. The sea is sometimes crystal clear and beautiful, sometimes brown and sludgy. The sea that I grew up knowing was definitely of the brown and sludgy variety. The sea is sometimes warm as bathwater and sometimes cold as ice. The sea is a body of water that composes much of a planet's hydrosphere, which I think is a posh way of saying water. The sea is a playground for humans, young and old, although it leans more towards the young than the old. The sea is the graveyard of many a ship, a mysterious area that isn't fully understood yet, a habitat for animals, is seen as a symbol of wisdom, strength, renewal, and the source of all life on Earth if you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution. So there I've generated quite a good list there that I could, if I wanted to, pick things out of. I could choose one of those things, expand it into a memory or a poem, or I could work it into a list about the sea. Or I could just leave it. It could be a play and throw away piece of writing. We don't have to do something with everything we write. But I hope it's got your creative muscles flexed and ready to move on to activity 2. Think about what you know of the sea, your own experiences of the sea. Have you sailed on it? Have you visited it? Have you swum in it? Have you been on holiday in or beside it? Have you got memories and stories from your own experience of it that you could use in a piece of writing? Can you remember the first time you saw the sea and what you thought and what you felt? Were you a child? Were you an adult? Think about the sea, the sounds of the sea, the way it moves against the beach, the sounds when it's rolling away from the beach, what it looks like, what the beach looks like as that water's sucking away. Imagine yourself standing with your feet in the sand or on a pebbly beach and the sea washing over them and raking away. What would your thoughts be? What would you feel and smell and hear and see? How different are your memories of holidays or the sea as a child to now? So, for instance, hundreds of memories for me. We used to go to the same place on holiday every year as a family, and sometimes relatives from different parts of the country would join us. And there are a couple of memories I have. We had some relatives from London who came up and had lots and lots of cashes. One young man in particular had a wallet that was very full of London wages. And on one of the days, he went paddling with his wallet in his pocket and it fell out and he lost it. And amazingly, it got washed along the coast and somebody handed it in and he got it back with very wet money, but he got it back and we couldn't believe it. So that's one funny story that we had. Of my own children, my daughter, when she was a baby, hated when we tried to put her on the sand with bare feet, would be lifting her feet up because she couldn't stand the feeling of the sand on the bottom of her feet. And then I have another memory of my son at the age of about 18 months, being put on the sand and turning away to get something, and he was just off like a bullet towards the sea, and I pounded after him and just caught him as he was going in. So memories of going to the sea are part of my heritage. Year after year, we went to the same holiday place that my father had been to as a young man. So our history with going to that place was really very strong. And I also have memories of later holidays when we did actually go somewhere else. We went to Kent instead of the Lincolnshire coast. And it felt very alien to me. The beach wasn't a sandy beach. And the routines that I was used to having in our family holiday in Lincolnshire weren't replicated. They were very different in this new place, and it didn't feel like my place, my holiday, and I didn't enjoy it as much. You could think about a 24-hour day at the seaside. If you were at the sea, if you could be transported to the sea now, this minute, what would you do? So I'm going to read you a piece that I've written, and I based this on a photograph of myself, aged about 1 year old, a black and white photograph of me sitting on the beach in Lincolnshire with a little sun hat on and the breakers behind me. And I can't remember that sitting on the beach that day, but I've just written about the photograph from the point of view of me as an adult looking at the photograph and describing what's in the photograph. So I've called it Seaside Scrapbook. A wide-brimmed hat pulled tight against the sun. Damp sand under nappy-padded bottom. Water-wrinkled beach, flat and cold, stretched further than unskilled legs could navigate in a month of summer Sundays. No need. All is here. A mother, father, a brace of granddads, nanas, northern uncles down for the day, and a band of siblings to watch, tease, follow, chase through years to wading pools, crabbing pots, sandcastle trenches and cricket stumps, to water's edge, to hold hands tightly up sea-worn beach steps. Not yet the secrets unseen by the camera, not yet the dark stranger replacing the father, not yet coastal remodelling, coarse sand dredged from the seabed to cover mudbanks, footsteps, and push back the rising tide. The last piece I'm going to read is a factual piece written by some friends of mine in the local history society. I've just drawn some extracts from it, and it's about the summer fortnights, in this case the Leicestershire fortnight. The much-loved Leicestershire Workers' July fortnight started in 1965, when factory holidays in the district were changed from the first 2 weeks of August to the first 2 weeks of July. This meant that work at factories across Leicestershire closed down for the fortnight, with many workers boarding the special holiday trains to popular destinations at the coast. Offices and other businesses in Leicestershire also closed. Buses ran on a reduced service, and Leicester City seemed almost deserted at times. More than 100,000 people left Leicester on holiday in July 1965, the Leicester Mercury reported, with a cool £1 million in their pockets, including holiday pay. Around 10,000 of them travelled on the 19 East Coast specials from London Road Station, and everyone had a seat thanks to a free book in advance scheme. Most people travelled by rail, either because they didn't own a car or they wanted to avoid the nightmare drive to the coast. The weather on the East Coast for the first 2 weeks of July in 1965 was said to be improving after a mixed fortnight, but there was no need to miss out on news from home, as holidaymakers could still buy an edition of the Leicester Mercury in Skegness and other popular resorts. Some people from Leicester were also venturing further afield for their holidays by the 1960s, with the Spanish resorts of Lorette and Torre said to be popular destinations, along with those on the Italian Adriatic coast. In typical 1960s fashion, the Leicester Mercury finished its article on the Leicester fortnight with the following paragraph. The Friday is bound to be a day of tension, for mother who has to cope with packing and meals to eat on the way, for the children who are excited at the thoughts of what seems like endless days by the sea, and for father who is expected to do a day's work, rush home and change, load up the car, and then start on a drive of 200 or more miles, a good slice of it during the hours of darkness. It can often become a nightmare for the man behind the wheel. And that was published in the Leicester Mercury on the 7th of July 1964. The final idea I have for you is one that I borrowed from a writer friend who used this quite a lot, and it's a really good way to stimulate ideas for writing. You can take these any way you like. So I've got a list here of sea songs, and also they're a bit of a crossover, seaside and holiday. So I've come up with 10 here. First activity is to stop and write a list of as many songs related to the sea, or seaside, or holidays, or all three as you can. Give yourself 10 minutes to come up with a list of sea, seaside, or holiday songs. See how many you get. How did you do? I was quite surprised to find that I didn't come up with as many as I thought I would. But here's the list. I'm going to show them to you on the screen. Surfing USA by the Beach Boys. Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darin. How Deep is the Ocean by Irving Berlin, and there's been versions by Robbie Williams and Frank Sinatra amongst others. Seaside by the Kooks. Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid, cracking song, love that one. Cake by the Ocean by DNCE. We're All Going on a Summer Holiday and Yellow Submarine. They were our family favourites as children. We sang them on the way. Holiday by Madonna. And the old British music hall song, We Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. I wonder how many of those you had on your list and what are the ones you have. The very last activity is for you to look at the list of songs and to take one and use it as a stimulus for writing. And that could be writing about the song itself. It could be a memory related to you having heard it or sung it, or where you know it from, first time you heard it, if you bought it, when you bought it, why you bought it. It may be holiday related, it may not. Or you could use it as an idea for a piece of fictional writing, a poem or a story. Use it as the beginning of a story, as a sentence opener, anything you like. Just do whatever you like with it, whatever it sparks in your creative mind for you to do. And off you go, enjoy. And that's it. That's the end of my writing prompts today. I've thrown quite a lot at you. I hope you've managed to find something useful from them and have been able to write some pieces, fiction or memories, and had a little bit of fun. And remember, if you like to, we'd love to see, if you type them up, we paste them on the Facebook page under the little video of me. Or record yourself reading them and post that on Facebook. We'd love to see what you've done with the prompts that I've given you today. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.